just having some fun with a shuffle jam track here that we're going to look at. In this lesson, I'm going to give you an absolutely magical exercise that, if you master it, will just open up the whole range of playing with rhythm in any style of music. So it really changes your soloing ability, like, incredibly. But I have a new course coming out that's all focused on taking the main lessons that I drew or got from the top players in the style of what you could call blues rock. And in this little video here, we're going to take the most important thing out of Stevie Ray Vaughan's playing that I got from him that totally changed the way I was playing and the way I was the whole feeling of just, hey, it's you soloing, come on, 2, 3, 4, and then bam, you have to do it. And I suddenly just freed up completely and really enjoyed the process, and the pressure disappeared because now I had the power to really play solos the way I wanted it within any style of music. This is not about blues rock as such. It's just, about what we can learn from these great players. So what is blues rock, really? Just let us just define what I mean there. Well, blues, if we just take the blues, it's just like, in its simplest form, simplest definition, you have dominant 7 chords all the way, right? So in the key of B, for instance, you would have a B dominant 7 chord, and then the next chord would be an E dominant 7, and then back to the B dominant 7, and then you would go up to the F sharp dominant 7, and back to the E dominant 7, and down to the B dominant 7, right? Right? That's traditional blues in its simplest form. But then, in classical music and in pop, the other realm, basically, that's not blues-based, we use the minor scale and the major scale, which is the same thing. And we have chords like minor and major, and we could have a chord progression like that, but in minor. So we would have an A minor instead of an A dominant. A B minor instead of a B dominant 7th. And then we would go to the E, but that would also be a minor, right? So we'd have, and then E minor, right? And then back to B minor. It's still the same rhythm. Everything's the same, but now we're in minor instead of the, right? And then we would go to the F sharp, and that would be a major because that would be the dominant to the tonic again. You don't have to worry about the theory here. But so we would have like something like, all right, so it's another experience, right? Because we're mixing the style of blues and right? Right? So we have that sound suddenly that is bluesy, very bluesy, but it's also like, pop and rock and the melodic kind of style. I hope that makes sense. But that's really, guys like, a good example is Gary Moore, right? We know him from that style. Still got the blues. So I studied these players, and from Stevie, what I got was not his licks, because I was too lazy to learn licks, basically, because I had to go through the tabs and learn them over and over again. And I was kind of, I rejected the idea of then, okay, I know Stevie Ray Vaughan's licks, and then I would show up for practice with the guys and play stuff like that. And they would go, this sounds like Stevie. What's the point in that, right? So I was too lazy and too vain to learn them. So instead, I tried to look for, what can I learn from this guy that would enable me to create similar lines and licks, but my own stuff, right? And the main lessons really from that, and it took a while, right? Because that's hard. That's a hard. What is he doing and why, right? But over time, with enough study, I extracted lessons that I could really learn. And this one that I'm going to show you in this video is the most important and the one that really did the most for me. We're going to go into great depth in the program, in the upcoming course I have, where we study these guys. But in this lesson here, you can take away this and just run with it and really, totally revolutionize your playing with it. But what it's about is rhythm. If you look at Stevie Ray and compare him to other players, what you find is that he's always like strumming almost, right? Because he's such a he just plays with rhythm, and he has total control. That's the second thing. He has total control over what strings will ring out when he's strumming them and what are muted. And that gives him this ability to just strum his solos, and it just gets so groovy, and we have all the noise from the muted strings. Instead of having just a note like, it's like, so all the way, right? And that just gives him that raw, cool sound as well. So how do we learn to do this? Well, we separate it first. There's the muting ability, and then there's the rhythm ability. And I have a cool little lick here that I'm going to give you. And don't just see this as a lick. It's an exercise that will teach you an immense amount. And once you learn this lick, then I promise you, learning other things that looks like it will be so much easier. And it can really be the thing that opens up your playing into a totally new feeling. It was for me. So please listen to this. This track here is actually the same rhythm I was using in order to learn this. And it's so important because here we got a shuffle, right? And what is a shuffle? Well, it's instead of having 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, you need to look for the subdivision because that's what it's all about. And in a regular song, you would have, that's not shuffle, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, ba da 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 da. Right? So you basically have the subdivision, and then you play individual notes from that subdivision, right? But you can have your arm going like this, which is what Stevie Ray does. Right? So you basically have those subdivisions running all the time in your body, right? But in this case, it's not like 16th notes. It's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that is an amazing skill to learn because when you do it, and it feels so awesome to play, just going as you have the pulse in your body. But here's the real skill. Please stick with me now, because this can absolutely change everything. You tap your foot at ba, da, 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 right? And then you go da, 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 da. But in order to do that, you tap your foot and go down, up, down. Please mute the strings, pick up your guitar and follow along right now. So you go down, up, down, right? Tapping your foot on the first down. Tap, up, down, right? Try doing that now. Down, up, down. Down, up, down. Then the next time around, you go up, down, up. So now you turn it around and go up, down, up. And on the first up, you have the foot. Foot, down, up. And you combine that with the first. And if you never did this before, please stick with it long enough for you to get it so you can play it at a low level of tempo. Because when you get to that point, that's the breaking through the wall of this. Once you broke through the wall and you can actually go da, 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 up, down, up, foot, up, down, up, foot, foot. Then you can just start repeating it. And then it becomes much easier to build the skill of going da, 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 foot, 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 right? And because this is so weird, because first you have the foot on a downstroke, then you have it on an upstroke, because that is so weird, you get an immense amount of value from learning it. So when this is easy to you, foot, 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 and then you can really start using it. And other things will be so much easier to learn, like, 10 times, just a tenth of the learning time. So please, this is essential and core skill here. So down, up, down. Up, down, up, foot, 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 right? So that's the essence here, because when we can do that, we can go foot, foot, foot. And I have this jam track for you. Please go to our website and download the jam tracks in this version and in a slower version, and then you can download this video as well. Once you can do this, you have 90% of the stuff down, right? Now you can start really having some fun, because let's say we're in B here, B blues, right? right? And we're using dominant 7th chord, so we have traditional blues going here, 12-bar blues. But we have that first position blues scale shape in the 7th fret, and I'm going to pick the favorite note of most players to bend in the 9th fret on the G string. So 3rd finger, 9th fret, G string. Take the 1st finger and the 2nd finger and use them to mute all other strings. We're going to look a lot more on muting in the next lesson, right? So use them to mute the strings so we can only hear that one thing. And then practice muting that as well. So you can lift it, mute all the strings, press down your 3rd finger, hear the note, lift it just a little bit to mute it as well, right? And then I'd like you to do the following here. Right? Take that note and then strum it like da 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 da. Right? And then the next exercise is just doing the downstrokes. Instead of doing both the up and down, you just do the downstrokes. And I know that's incredibly hard because you lose the context of the da 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 once you've learned that, and then you only hear the ba da 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 da. That's the rhythm, right? Right? And then, but you can take the slow jams, right? You can use your metronome and then go da ba ba da 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 ba da. And just listen to the rhythm I have here in my hand, right? This is the pick, and this is the foot. Ba da goo da, ba da do da, ba da do da, ba da do da. The cool thing is that this is one tempo, and this is another. Ba da do da, ba da do da, ba da do da, ba da do da, ba da do da. Right, and then you speed that up. Da da do da, ba da do da, da 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 ba da do da, da. Right, those are all the downstrokes, and then afterwards you do all the upstrokes. So you go. Right? Da 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 da. And when you do the upstrokes, you press in. So on the fretboard, so you play that note. Right? Sounds like this. Foot, 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 foot. Foot, 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 foot. Let me do the downstrokes instead and alternate between the two. Right? I hope you get this exercise. It's crazy how much this develops you. And you need to be able to do it on a much higher level than this in order for you to master it. But start, at each level. First take the da 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 with the foot, and then practice the other way around, where you start with an upstroke and go foot down up, right? Up, down, up, and then put the two together. Once you put the two together, play them in a loop, and then start, putting accents to the downstrokes by muting, and then, right? So let me just see what I can do with this skill. Same thing. So once you have that down, you're just in the groove constantly. You don't have to play as many notes as I just did. But once you have that as a foundation, you can skip it and go for some longer notes, but you always have that da 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 ba da da ba da da in the background in your body. So you have total control and you never leave it. So you stay in close contact with the music here. Just by doing these simple exercises. So I urge you to focus on it. It seems like it's less exciting than just playing a couple of licks, right, of Stevie's. That sounds much more like music, Claus. But if you sit down and learn this skill and then couple it or combine it with what I'm going to teach you in the next free lesson here, then I promise you, you'll have an exercise that's going to expand your playing, and you'll run so fast that, and look back. Playing music is not a race, but people are practicing, right? And if you start practicing stuff like this, and as I said, combine it with the next video, then I promise you, you'll look back like a couple of months from now and just think, wow, that really works, right? Really works. So go download the jam tracks if you haven't already done so, and this video, and then I'll see you tomorrow in the next lesson. I'll just have some fun with the jam tracks as well.